The National Hockey League has had its annual All-Star break with All-Star festivities going on north of the border in Toronto this weekend. But let's check in on the local teams at the break and what they can look forward to for the rest of the season. We're going to do it with the co-host of Better Hockey Now, my guy Anthony Rivera. Anthony, you and I, we are usually talking some Mets baseball. Now we're talking some hockey because you're so multi-talented. Glad to talk some hockey with you. How you doing, man?
Same, Dexter. I'm doing great. We're getting ready for the second half of the season, and the locals have a lot to work on
Yeah.
come the second half.
Yeah, and this is why we have to talk about that. Anthony, let's start with the Rangers, who had a disappointing month of January, but they did have a nice 7-2 win over the Senators heading into the break. The Blue Shirts, they lead the Hurricanes by 2 points in the Metro Division at the break right now. What did you make of their pre-All-Star break play, and how do they get back to their dominant play following this All-Star break?
Yeah, it was a struggle in the month of January. They finished 4-5-1 in their last 10 games, but they're still in first place, which is really good for them. They built up that equity at the beginning of the season where if they are in a rough patch like they are right now, it's just a bump in the road and they can quickly turn it around. But the Hurricanes are right behind them by 2 points, and they're going to really need to kick it into high gear. Igor Shesterkin has a .899 save percentage. He needs to be a whole lot better. He's an all-star. We've seen what he can do. You can't have Jonathan Quick, who's the backup, having a better save percentage than him. But Artemi Panarin leads the team in points. He's got 66 with 30 goals and 36 assists. And they need a lot more from their top line, which is Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, and Blake Wheeler. If they can get going, they have enough to get this team to the playoffs for sure, but to get them deep into the playoffs is what they really need, and to a Stanley Cup championship. And they got the right coach for it in Peter Laviolette, who has won a Stanley Cup. So I think that they're going to be fine. It's just that they've just hit this little bump in the road.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they come out of the gates following this All-Star break. Can they get back to, as you said, the play that had them build up some equity so early in the season? Now, with the Devils, it's been an up and down season, but the team, they still have a chance to secure a wild card spot and make their second consecutive playoff appearance. It appears in my eyes the offense hasn't been the issue for New Jersey, but rather the defense. So how do the Devils improve a struggling defense after the break?
Yeah, coming out of the playoffs last year against the Rangers and the Hurricanes, we all knew that it was going to be the goaltending that was going to be a problem. We didn't know that the defense was going to take such a step back, and that's because they let Damon Severson and Ryan Graves go. And those guys were veterans on this staff. They were leaders on this team. And to go into this season counting on, even though he's playing well, Kid and Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec to do well, it just has not went up to that next scale for those guys. And you have injuries that has ravaged this team all season long. They definitely need better goaltending from Vitek Vanacek, who has a good record. He's 16-8, but the save percentage, .886, that's not good. Akira Smith, .893. Nico Dawes, .895. That's not good from the goaltending. And it doesn't help that the defense has not been playing well. It doesn't help that the team is without their leader and Dougie Hamilton on the defense. So they've been struggling. And like you said, the offense has been firing on all cylinders. Jesper Bratt has 50 points. Jack Hughes, who's been out for a part of the season, he's even got 45. He's been playing well. Tyler Toffoli also. Luke Hughes on defense has been playing well, scoring goals. But Timo Meier, who this team signed to a huge deal, he's been very disappointing. He only has 18 points, and this team could use some of that when they're kind of doing these shootouts with other teams. But they need to pick it up because there's a lot of teams like the Flyers, Islanders, Penguins, and Capitals who are right there with them in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, it's a very bunched up race there for those wild card spots. Also, you wonder, will they make a move to try to shore up the defense? I think a lot of fans are thinking about, can they make a move to improve the goaltending? Not sure that'll happen, but maybe some other moves to try to shore up the defense. Lastly, Anthony, I want to talk about the Islanders. With them, all eyes are going to be on new head coach Patrick Waugh. The team is 6 points out of a wild card spot, but they lost 3 straight games heading into the break. Can Waugh turn things around out in Long Island?
It's funny that you mentioned that on our last episode of Better Hockey Now. We talked about that it's either going to be he's going to really succeed with this team or it's going to fall completely flat. And we'll just have to see because the roster's not changed. The roster's the same. Maybe they make a trade, but They're fourth place in the Metro with 52 points. And, the offense really needs to step up. Their top scorer, their top point getter is defenseman Noah Dobson, who's having a great season. Don't want to take anything away from him, but the offense really has to step up. And, when you have a goaltender who was, thought out to be, one of the best in the league, and Ilya Sorokin only has a 909 save percentage, 14, 12, and 9 on the season. Semyon Varlamov has been better in net with a 914 save percentage. They're going to need the goaltending to step it up, and they really need some offense. I don't know how they're going to get it, but they do need to, kick it into gear with the offense, because the defense and the goaltending has been fine, but the offense really needs to step it up another level.
Yeah, there are things that need to change for all three of the local teams, and it's going to be interesting to see if any of them or all three make a move at the upcoming trade deadline. We'll keep our eye on that with the NHL at the All-Star break right now. That is Anthony Rivera. You always have him here talking Mets with me, but now talking some hockey. We can get on the ice and talk some hockey there. Anthony, appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dexter. Love multitasking.